Welcome to another Bryanston video tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to look at how to set up an Onshape account. So the first thing I'm going to do is to go to Onshape's education. Now I can do that just by searching Onshape education. So I put that into Google, Onshape for education, click on the link, and this will take me to the education plan. So if I look at the top of the left hand screen, I can see on that tab it's education plan, and therefore I can use that to create an education account. Just going to close the pop-up messages and left click on the big green box that says create edu account. So on here I'm going to enter in my details, and I'm going to use some made up details so that I can take you through the setup process. So I am entering a first name and a last name, and I'm entering an email address. So I've set up one called bryprep@gmail.com for the purposes of this. Use your educational account. Now for this, I'm actually an educator. If you're getting your students to do this, get them to select students. So I'm going to go through and set this up as if I'm a student. You can pick educator, but as a student, I can then select the level. This uses the American system, and with the American system, I want to select K to 12. So that's kindergarten to the American year 12. Check the box to say I'm happy with my personal details, and then left click on create edu account. This will take me through to a second screen where I can enter in the details for my school. So the school is Bryanston School. The school website is www.bryanston.co.uk. The city, it's not a city, but it's Blandford. The state, it's not a state, it's a county, it's Dorset. Country is UK, and this is where it takes a little while to get through. Click on the arrow and scroll down to United Kingdom. Graduation year, I would select the last year that you can. For your students, think about whether they're going through to A-level, or think about the year that they might leave your establishment. So if I was a year 9 student here, I'd be leaving in 5 years time. So 23, 24, 25, 26, let's go 27. And in this case, what are students using it for? They're likely to be using it for school projects. If you were an educator and you were filling this in, then you might use it for teaching students how to use CAD. I then need to tick the 3 boxes, the 3 agreements, and then I can click on create account. Now what this should do, all going well, is send an email to my email account, which will give me a link that will let me set up my account properly. So if I go over to the next tab where I've got my email ready, I can see that I've got a message from Onshape. So I shall left click on Onshape and left click on activate your account, and then that will take me through to this particular screen. So on here I can set up my own password. So I'm going to type in a password and then confirm the password. Ooh, mistyped it. Try again. Now I would suggest for your students that they perhaps use the same password that they use to log in onto their account at school, so they're not going to forget it. Okay, this screen, get rid of those. This screen is perhaps the most important screen when it comes up to setting Onshape. Being in the UK, we will use millimeters, and this screen has got a lot more complicated than in the past because it uses a lot more different types of measurements. As the program has become more sophisticated and they've added extra pieces to it, there's a lot more options. I would say the important ones are going to be length and angle and mass. So we're going to change our length to be millimeters, because all of the tutorials that we do are in millimeters, and we'll just use some sort of metric unit for the others. In terms of display decimals, I would just go to 2 decimals, so 0.12 each time. The reason being is we're not likely in school to be working to thousandths of a millimeter. Angle, I default to degree. Angular velocity, degrees per second is fine, and again I would change those to 0.12 and 0.12. Any other additional units that you might come up with, so if we look on here, mechanical, change it to kilogram for mass. Force, we can use newtons. Moment, newton meters. Pressure, we can use pascals. And again, we can change all of those to 0.12. Rarely have I seen an occasion where I've used any of these. I suppose the only thing would be when we're looking at parts and we assign a material to a part and we want to know how heavy that part is. The kilogram weight can be quite useful, the mass can be quite useful there. Once we've set our units in our decimal places, we can go on to mouse control, so click next. Now if you've used a program like SolidWorks a lot, you may want to change the default Onshape settings to those that match SolidWorks, but all of the tutorials that I've produced have kept the default setting for Onshape, so I'm just going to leave that as a default and click on next. Again, you can set up a nickname. I've just left that as Bryanston CAD, and then we can go and keep going through on our browser. So the browser looks good. It's done a browser check. The joy of this piece of software is that it uses a cloud to store the information, and it's run on the cloud. It doesn't take up any of a footprint on your personal computer. You can run it on a Mac, you can run it on a PC, you can run it on a mobile phone, you can run it on a tablet. All those last two sort of devices are more limited in what you can do. So you can see I'm now into the software, and there is not a lot going on. In the first tutorial, I'll take you through how to create a folder and how to create a document. But for the moment, that's as easy as it is for setting up your account. Thanks for watching. In the next video, we'll start doing some modeling.